Hey everybody, I'm Yendi, and this is Odyssey with Yendi, Untold Journeys, where I speak with some of my favorite people and have some shape-shifting conversations. Here, they share their stories, leaving nuggets of goodness and life lessons to motivate and inspire our own life's journeys. Odyssey with Yendi Untold Journeys is brought to you in partnership with Sagicor.
Buying a home? Score big with a Sagicor Bank mortgage. It's easy. Find your property, apply for your Sagicor Bank mortgage, get your keys in no time, and you're home!
MasterCard.
Make online purchases in a safe way with Debit MasterCard. Let the passion of football find you everywhere. MasterCard. Start something priceless.
Grab yourself some Appleton and tap into a new world of flavor. Have a snack for this episode? Well, grab your Sun Mix and taste the good life.
My guest today is a part of one of the most iconic reggae groups. He's a producer, a Grammy winner, and honestly someone who really needs no introduction. Today we have Gramps Morgan. Gramps, how are you?
I am good.
You
good.
look good.
I'm all right.
Yes, and the
Yeah,
energy
man.
you're giving off is great. I can feel you beaming with pride as you sit beside me.
Likewise. I'm a fan, first of all. Just seeing what you've done in your career and in the show. I'll never forget, I was watching YouTube and I was scrolling, and the quality of the picture was just incredible. It made me interested. And then your guests have been amazing. So congratulations.
Thank you. I'm honored to have you here.
Yes.
I really am honored. I don't know how you know, but I really wanted this to happen, so I'm truly honored.
Thank you for having
It feels
me.
divine.
Amen.
It's how it feels.
Yes.
Let's talk about this guy.
Yes.
This guy with this heavy, whole heap of weight behind it last name.
Yeah.
Because the legacy is there as the Morgan. There is a Morgan heritage,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But your dad
Yes.
was a singer, he was a musician. Let's talk about how that history perhaps influenced you and where you are.
And it was everything, right?
Yeah.
We know that children are first influenced by their parents. Their parents are their first role model.
Yeah.
So for me, watching Daddy growing up and rehearse and preparing to go on tour with people like Frankie Beverly and Mays and Curtis Blow, at the time it was just like Daddy's playing some music kind of mumbo jumbo thing. But as we begin to understand, it was like, wow, this is pretty groundbreaking. And realizing as a Jamaican, he had this disco music. His biggest record was called I'll Do Anything For You. I'll do anything for you. Yeah, and it was, every Jamaican in New York was so proud of that, to know that it was a Jamaican. A lot of people till this day don't know it was a Jamaican.
Right.
But because back then we didn't have YouTube and the great Yendi Phillipps show, and you know, so to see it now that it has, how that has affected me growing up and wanting to perfect my craft and as a musician, that bring the best, prepare your A game. Because I saw my father rehearsing for hours.
Yeah.
Right, and even with his little knowledge of music at the time, because he always had a master musician, he always had a musical director, you know, and it affects me till this day that I want to make sure that my music is perfect in any way.
Yeah.
And you hardly find that in reggae, that even when we go on tour, people are like, and even a lot of musicians, when they start to play in our band, they're like, yo, the rehearse longy, man. It was like, yo, 12, 13 hours a day.
But that's why your set's so clean, because it's one thing about a set with Morgan heritage, you know.
Yeah.
Clean transitions
Yes,
as well.
man.
Ooh,
You have to get your money's worth, right?
that's right.
We do the same thing with food. Why not music? Don't you
Oh,
know?
I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah,
It's
man.
true. Yeah.
Yes.
When did you realize that music was going to be your path?
After I stopped playing football in high school.
Okay, football, let me guess. I'm looking at your bill. You played defense.
Yes.
You were a linebacker.
Yes.
Ah,
Jeez,
man.
you're good.
Thank you.
Right.
I'm here every Sunday. Thank
Yeah.
you. it's
Yeah,
you. I can tell in your gait, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
don't
man.
play with you.
Yeah, it was everything. Football was a big part of my life. Taught me a lot of discipline, even with the amount of militancy within the whole Rastafarian culture. remember we say you don't have to dread to be Rasta.
That's right.
So I lived it. There was a time when I had my goatee and my sides were faded. The smooth New Yorker, right? And then, you know, put on my dreadlocks now for the past 23 years and been walking that path. But I already had the teachings of His Majesty and the whole Rasta culture before the dreadlocks.
Yeah.
So when we did that song, it was freeing a lot of people that maybe had to get a job or she worked at the bank and she just put maybe 2 locks in the back of her head. And it was to make her feel like, say, yo, if you believe in the teachings of His Majesty and the Davidic throne and the Ethiopian Orthodox Church, it's okay. Yes, so be free. Yeah. So for us, it was a understanding of ourselves when we created even that song, Don't Have to Dread to be Rasta. Yeah. And then those things have stuck with me till this day. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Did you want to be a professional football player? I
did. Football was everything. Like when I say it changed me, I kind of lost track of what I was saying. But when my mother passed away from cancer, rest in peace, Miss Pearl, and football was my way to show I was angry. That was number one. And then it taught me a certain amount of militancy, right? To remember the plays. And I when playing offense was so hard because you had to remember the plays. So defense was just get the guy with the ball and smash him down, just kill him.
One time.
Just run him down and kill him. So for me, that was where football came into my life and really helped to get rid of the pain. Yes. You know what it's like to lose mama.
I was about to say to you,
that thing what for me was that football was that channel to get it out. And then my father looked at me and said, you know, say music if it is still, you know? And I'm like, football. And all the coaches, I had scholarships to many universities. I was supposed to play with Ron Marley at the University of Miami.
Ron was in
Ron
Miami.
was a bad boy too. Ron was a bad boy and played with that whole Warren Sapp and Dwayne Johnson that we know now as the Rock.
Cinco? I was just kidding.
Yeah, no. Ocho Cinco was a wide receiver.
He is a receiver.
Yeah, he was a wide receiver, but he's a football player. So you're right. But he didn't play with
That's Ron. Chad Johnson.
Ron Johnson. Yeah, yes. And it's amazing that till this day, football is a big part of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Do you still every now and then go for a little scrimmage?
No, actually, I went back up around 7-8 years ago and played semi-pro. Just to, people were like, are you crazy?
How many ice baths you had to take after practice?
It wasn't too bad because I didn't have a lot of football traffic on me, right?
All right, got you.
I did it and I never went and played college ball, right? Because I came to Jamaica, I got signed to MCA Records in 1992. They gave us $500,000 in 92, probably more than to what it is today.
Right.
And then we were able to really use that as a stepping pool to where we is now. Everything really started when we meet Bobby Digital and King Jammies. Yeah.
You know, it's amazing to me because as I have these conversations, there are certain names that always come up.
Yeah.
King Jammies and Bobby Digital
yes.
always come up. And I don't know if how many people realize how critical they are to all of what we know as Jamaican music and culture.
Yeah, man.
How did their influence and involvement
Great question.
Your journey?
For me, with Bobby Digital, the first thing Bobby Digital did to Morgan Heritage was send us on top of the studio to pick a ackee tree that was growing above the studio. So remember, I'm coming from New York, right? I'm a New York Jamaican boy, right? And the man, I say, yo, I need to go down the street and buy 2 pounds of saltfish and 5 pounds of flour, and then when I come back, climb the tree. That was our introduction to Bobby Digital. Bobby Digital said, come down, and we had drive from St. Thomas, and we was working with 2 producers, Bobby Digital and King Jammies. We would go to King Jammies. A guy named Ewing and Scarface would pick us up every morning and in our van and drive us from St. Thomas to Waterhouse. And then in the evening from about 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, we would go to Bobby Digital every day for about 7 months.
Yes, ma'am.
And we recorded 2 albums at the time.
In the 7 months?
In the 7 months. And Bobby said, boy, who are going to release the 2? Remember I said Bobby Digital is a student of King Jammies.
That's right.
So the 2 of them said, who are going to release them album first? The 2 of we have a Morgan Heritage album. And then Bobby said, King, you go on first. And then we released our first single was a song named One Bingy.
Wow.
And time the way I eat steel crackers and drink lead soup. And so it sounds militant.
Yeah.
But that path to coming from New York and just, I'll never forget that experience when Bobby just said, because we was like, I'm used to being on time, because I'm New Yorker, right?
Right.
And Bobby's like, chill, take it easy, man, easy, man. And we're like, okay, we gotta write the song, gotta go. Bobby, we gotta drive back to St. Thomas. And I was like, easy, man, go get 2 dozen knock you off at the tree. And I'm like, yo, this guy's joking, man. It's like, you know, and I understand and realize, I grow to understand, reggae music is a vibe. It's not about the technicality or how many cards you can play or all that. And it really just decompressed us musically. So he changed our lives musically. And then we also changed his life. Rest in peace, Bobby. And I'll never forget, we had a show at Brixton Academy in London. And he came to the show. Every show that we had in London, we offered him a ticket. We would fly him and his wife every time for what he had done for us.
That's right. Yeah,
so we said, Bobby, y'all come at the London show, because it was every tour we would end, we'd go to Berlin, Stockholm, and end the tour in London. So we'd say, we'd fly you and Mummy come up to the show, and he would just come and sit up in the seats. And what happened is that Bobby was able to witness what we brought to the table, which was the technology. Because there was a horn line that Dean Fraser was playing on a song called, what was the name of the song? Falling Race. And I said, Bobby, we need the sample. And during the live show is a line I go, and Bobby said, oh, we're not gonna make that fit in our live show. I said, Bobby, don't worry. So we gave that to Mojo, sampled in his MPC, and Mojo would play the live hands like a drum pad. Wow. Now most musicians know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Bobby said, that's impossible. We said, Bobby, we're gonna give you a first class seat. Sit down right at the front and watch it happen.
This.
And Bobby came into the dressing room and said, it worked! So there was a lot of joys that we had together, that he saw the whole reggae music could be improved, as well as our technical, let me say, we come from America and very technical, and he brought the vibe and the energy to us, you know? And St. Thomas has really been very instrumental in just grounding us, you know?
I was actually going to ask you, being that you are born in the States, you have Jamaican heritage, Jamaican roots, Jamaican upbringing, but you're born and grow for the most part in the States. What does it mean for you when you come and stand on Jamaican soil? I know you recently have a new book.
Yes.
That you can flash and these things.
It feels good.
I can imagine. But being on this soil, what does that do for a man like Gramps?
It makes me remember my ancestors. I remember my granny, my mother who passed away. It makes me remember those who were before me. The biggest part is the richness of our culture and how that connects to Africa and how unique we are as a people. So when I connect and fly back home to Jamaica, is a special thing. And then it even becomes more special when I'm away, because I see how everybody wants to be us.
That part.
Right?
It's that part.
And then I share with them that their biggest thing is like, because there's a lot of stereotypical mindsets of Jamaica. I think everybody smoke weed and everybody have dreadlocks. And I tell them, I said, listen, our motto in Jamaica is out of many one people. I said, we have Scottish Jamaicans. We have, of course, African Jamaicans, that African bloodline. We have Spain, Portuguese, British, and people don't believe me.
Lebanese.
Right? I can see that. Wow, that's another conversation.
My grandmother is straight from Lebanon.
Wow.
My dad's mom.
You see it?
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't know that, right?
Right.
It's like people like them think it's just the African Jamaican bloodline, and they find that so interesting, and that makes us diverse. So I'm proud to tell that story because I think that we are an example to the world that how the world can come together. I still believe that there's things that we have to overcome as the human race, which is classism, racism, sexism, all kind of ism. But I do believe that this pandemic has changed a lot of us. And like I tell people, we've learned to live with less, Yendi.
And isn't it beautiful? Because simple things our blessing, is we come and complicate up life,
That's correct.
We need food, shelter, and loved ones. What more we need?
So unfortunately, some people need more. They need a Porsche.
What do you drive? No, I'm joking now.
I'm a Cadillac guy, so my father always, it was a thing for my father. Even I mean, I have a BMW too, but my father he was a dreamer. You know, he left Jamaica at a young age. Leave Jamaica, come to America, didn't know anybody. And his biggest thing was to drive an American Cadillac.
Yeah.
So I saw the pride that he took, and I grew up in a Cadillac. All of us stuff up. Remember, I said, I know pick my father. So all of us would be stuffed up.
You are one of
30. 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big number, right?
It's a big
That's a
number.
big
I'm going to
number.
ask the question. I'm going to go there.
Yes.
What's your goal in terms of your offspring? Are you trying to match your father or?
I knew that I will never reach him, and I actually don't think that's a good goal to say, hey, how many kids? That's something that should happen naturally. With the universe, that it happens naturally. It shouldn't be like, yo, of course we have dreams, and people say, I want to have 2 kids and a white picket fence and a 2-car garage, right?
Yeah.
But life doesn't work like that.
It doesn't.
We also say, okay, the first woman will have me baby, I want to marry her and spend the rest of my life. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work out like that. That was my first dream when Jamiri was born. I was like, when Jamiri born, I said, yo, whoever, I'm going to spend the rest of my life. And it didn't work out like that.
Yeah.
But that situation turned me into the man that I am today.
Having your firstborn.
Having what I went through in that relationship. Because, you know, it didn't work out, but I learned so much lessons out of that.
You know, it's so funny how we often look at failed relationships as failed relationships, but it's not really a failure if you come out of it the way you should, right?
Yeah, because
new perspective, growth, introspection.
Yes.
Not a failure.
Yeah, definitely not. And sometimes, for me, because I was a big teddy bear, like I was this big 6-foot guy, and heart was just like, but I wasn't tough at all. And football made me rough and tough. And then that relationship that I went through and got my heart, that was my first heartbreak. And then it changed me. I thank her till this day. Big up Carla, like she changed me, Jamiri Mata. Like, and we're still friends till this day. That's because beautiful. I thank her to say, yo, even though we went through rough stuff, but you made me a better man. I actually got to finish that song. God.
You have a song called You Made Me a Better Man?
Ooh. I sang that song for Swiss Beats one day, and it was, oh, boy, you just bring me back to something.
Well, look here. You know that we're looking for it now. You know that.
Yeah.
By the end of the year, we need it. Woo! I'm just saying.
It just hit me as so now.
How much of your lived experience do you find comes through on paper and through to the mic when you create music?
A lot.
Yeah.
Right? It's like when there's some songs that, you know, that are meaningful to you, and there's some songs that are biographies, and there's some songs that are stories, right? Yes. Like when we wrote, This Is Why It's Your Best Friend Who Became My... And I remember Don Corleone saying to us, but wait, who write that about? Which girl that? And I said, no, it's like, it's not a biography. It's not every song is a biography, right? And I said, you got to understand that these are songs. Remember that Arnold Schwarzenegger in real life is not the Terminator. That's just a character he's playing.
Word.
Right? He's just playing a character. Yeah. So we have a duty to tell stories. And even with my new album, the songwriting on it, Positive Vibration, it's next level. Like we went hard, right? And in this pandemic, I said to myself, I want to become a better songwriter. And I've been given the time. I said, okay, you've done this, done that, but I still think, Gramps, you can sharpen up your songwriting skills.
I love that. I love that after all of these years of being in the business, you are actually saying there's an area I want to stretch more. I want to grow. I love that.
Absolutely.
You know much people that just get complacent?
No, you can't. You never stop learning.
Ooh,
you never stop learning, Yendi. And for me, when you listen to some of the lyrics, like A Woman Like You, have I told you? Have I shown you what I'm feeling? And people are like, why you write that about you, woman? Nope, the songwriter did, right? But every man can relate.
That's right.
Right? It's a universal song. It's an impact song. It's not a hit record.
Can we please, when we're talking about impact songs, we cannot talk about impact songs without talking about people like you.
Yeah.
That song sends chills up my spine.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah.
That song makes me think about all who have gone before me,
Yeah.
who are in this place that you
Yes.
describe so beautifully in the song.
Yes.
That song actually also makes me want to make sure I get there.
Yes.
It's
yes.
such an absolute beautiful piece of work.
It makes you rethink life.
It does.
You know, it makes you look at giving people their flowers, right? Don't wait till the worst time
Yes.
to say, oh gosh, boy, I love you. One of the things I've learned as a man is that I'm not afraid to say I love you.
Yes.
And I've told women that. I've been on dates throughout my years and said, you know, by the second time I see her, I said, man, I love you. I can tell you I love you right now. Just based on our chemistry and the energy, I can say, Yendi, I love you. Like next time we talk on the phone, I'm gonna say, love you, Yendi. I'll probably be traveling somewhere. But the energy of the human race, that I'm maybe because I'm getting older now, but I'm wise enough to know what love is. And most men, especially in our culture, we're afraid of love. So for me, if I said to most of my brethren, if you can walk in a brand new Benz deal and say, well, I love that Beamer there, that Benz there. You trying to tell me you can't say you love a human being?
Yes.
Then what kind of man are you? So this time has really made me reflect as a man, as a boyfriend, as a husband, as a son. Like every man should have this time of reflection to really look in themselves. Because if we come out of this pandemic the same that we entered it, something wrong with you. And there's no change for you. Stay away from those people.
I agree.
Yeah.
A whole word.
So people like you is just that song of just saying, man, if you give a little more than you take, and if you try to fix more, then you break. And if you're the kind who takes the time to help a stranger in the rain, that line makes me think about my mother. She was in America when we was living. Little kid, I saw her chew up sugar cane because this white lady was homeless. And she said, what is that you're chewing in your mouth? And my mother said, move fire, man. My mother was hardcore for Spanish town. She said, move fire, man. And she said, all right, come. What you know, no teeth? Because she didn't have no teeth.
Yeah.
And my mother said, come here, man, and chew up the sugar cane in her mouth and push it in the lady mouth. You know.
She can get the good taste of the sugar cane.
When I saw that, till this day that lives with me, that you have to be for the people. You cannot be for yourself. So I admire people that work in the hospitals. I admire flight attendants. I admire waitresses. These are people that are servants in our life, that in the service industry. So that song is really for them too. You know, so when I was away, we all couldn't travel. I thought about the people in North Coast that are still in the hotels in Runaway Bay and are servicing, and tourism is a big part of Jamaica industry.
It's literally why we've survived.
And,
literally.
And those people are still coming, putting their life at risk and still going to work. So it's like, those are the people that are putting not themselves first. So for me, when that song came about, it was a song of appreciation, dedication, and devotion, right? So those kinds of songs need to be made more. And I think Jamaica is in need of songs like that. It's like I've been doing the media the past couple of weeks, and when I take a stop and review my industry, I realize that 75% to 80% of these new artists are gangsters. Like everybody's like, hey, bad man, shut up, bam, bam, shake it, bam, bam. And I'm like,
which song that? Moano, the song there? Moano, the song there?
no.
But no, it's a serious thing though.
Yeah, but like nobody
why?
Like woman again.
Yeah, where is the love? Where is the...
It's like the beautiful love songs. And that's what I wanted to do, to inspire the great singers that we have to make, especially the young guys. Say, sing a love song, man. Like, ain't nobody give it to you good yet? Like, what's going on? Like, don't you have a testimony, right? So for me, it was, and if you listen to Positive Vibration, you'll hear the songs like that. You'll hear the song with me and India called Paradise.
Love her.
Yeah.
Listen, you and her together, it's over.
Wait till you hear the song.
It's over.
It's gonna change you again.
It's over.
Yeah, so music is very impactful, and I don't know, because we're getting up in age, I think so, so the wisdom, I'm getting wisdom, you know, I'm getting some gray hairs now, so the wisdom is coming. So you start to review and think about things differently.
Yeah.
So with people like you and songs like that, and working with Johnny Reed as one of the most amazing songwriters that I ever met, and put that on top of my experience from Morgan Heritage and my first 2 solo albums, we came up with something special.
For you, you've already won Grammys. You've already been nominated not only as a singer, but as a producer.
Yeah.
I mean, in the double digits.
Yeah.
Is it still something that you look forward to say, no, like this Grammy nomination means a lot to me. I really am glad for this nomination. Is something you still look forward to?
That's a great question. When I got I was watching it on YouTube, and I'm looking, I'm like, first of all, I wasn't in artist mode, strangely enough, because you submitted the album, Gramps, so come on, watch the thing. But I was never there. I was, when you reach a certain point, you get better at what you do. Right? So when this album came out, I tell people it's the difference between recording on a $5,000 microphone as to a $30,000 microphone. And getting that mic to record on every day, that's what it was for me.
Right.
And I'm like, my God, hear the vocals and the reverb and the vocal chain. It was like, this was quality production every day because we were given the time.
That's right.
Whenever I dip on the road and I record a tune in the hotel lobby or in the hotel room, it was in a proper recording studio. And reggae deserves that type of attention.
That part.
And I salute Shaggy on what he has done with a dancehall album with Spice. Like, he showed her the way, like, I've been here, done that. Let me help you do this dancehall album. And they made something that was spectacular.
Yeah.
And that's something that we need to be proud of. So the process of doing this album and being able to go through these songs and the songwriting, it just humbled me. So that morning when it happened, I'm looking as a fan. I'm like,
really?
I'm going to get nominated. Not realizing, don't to remember, say, my album was. So I'm like, boom, and they said Itana. So when Itana came on, I'm like, yes, Itana. Because her last album, I produced it.
Right.
So I'm more in the producer mode. Yeah. And not remembering, said, but wait, you did submit the album too? And they said Itana, blah, 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 Pamoja, Gramps Morgan, Positive Vibration. I grabbed down to my son's neck, almost broke him neck. I go, ah! And I was squeezing his neck so hard. I'm like, oh my God. I never looked at him and I said, you did it. I was in my robe.
Not the robe.
It was just another day in the Morgan house. Just watch remote control. I was in my robe.
In Nashville.
Yes, and just chilling and, and when it happened, I was just like, and of course, people say we don't make music for accolades. True. But when the Grammys recognize your work, let me explain to you.
Yeah.
The Grammys is not just based on, okay, Yendi, they put out a big album and she did sell out this stadium, and it's not based on that.
Yeah.
Or you made a sexy video and him say Yendi flat belly on it. No, it's not based on that. It's based on the composition, the quality of the microphones, the quality of the recording, the mixing of the record, the mastering. That's what it's based on. So a lot of times people be like, but wait, that album they did mash up the whole of Jamaica and me never hear about it. So the album get nominated for Grammy. These are the things. So this knowledge I'm trying to share with some of my colleagues so we can become better, because we have some of the best performers in the world that can outperform a lot, because I've seen it. But
it's funny though on what you just said, because you mentioned the mix a while ago. I find that in our culture, we are so accustomed to the DJ will play the intro and the first part of the song and then mix it out and go to the next song. So you don't even actually hear the beauty of the music.
That's correct.
They spend so much time mixing the thing and mastering it properly. We
and
don't even actually hear it.
Me and my brothers had a big problem with that. And I think fans should not be cheated, because
we need to at least hear up to the second chorus, at least.
Thank you, because maybe Yendi's favorite part of the song are the second verse.
Or the bridge.
Yeah. And then just pull up that. And then you go do the same thing live.
That thing will stress me out,
Me and my brothers have a big problem. And after a while, we'd say, yo, nobody now listen. And we're just like, on to the next, business as usual.
Yeah.
I never realized all of that was what they looked into. I didn't
Yeah,
realize that. That's
yeah.
the truth. I didn't
Yeah, man.
realize that. When this thing is said and done for you,
Yeah.
what do you want Gramps Morgan's legacy to be?
But I changed the game.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's the swag for me.
Yeah, changed the game.
Yeah.
Like me and my brothers, when we took on reggae music, we never just say we had the reggae. We call it full music rockers. So it was reggae music with an edge, something will lick you in your heart. You know, and the posters be like, yep, check it and get the Rasta man, check it. No, it was like, you know? Like it supposed to make waistline move and make your heart and your spirit move inside of you.
Yeah, man.
When we say in Moscow Square, there's a gathering celebrating the finding of the true cross, year to year, honoring the Savior, right? When we talk about that, I want my legacy to be like when we did Dawn After Dread, that we brought the Christian mindset, the honoring and the respect of the birth, the life, and the resurrection of Christ to the Rasta man thing. To know that the understanding of what it means to be a Rasta, that people remember that we freed them from those chains, that it wasn't a red, gold, and green khaki suit, veggie chunk eating culture. It was based on believing in the divinity of His Majesty, knowing that the Rastafarian movement is not a religion, it is a liberation movement with a spiritual nucleus, right? So the understanding of that people can understand that, okay, if you're a Rastafarian, you must know that, okay, Selassie, I belong to the Ethiopian Orthodox Coptic Church, right? Which came from and got its autonomy from Egypt, right? And understanding that knowledge. So for me, when I see young kids like Kabaka Pyramid and
Jesse Royals
and Chronics, these are my babies, right? They is Morgan energy them used to study, ask them.
Yeah.
And when I have these conversations with them, they say, yo, one of the things we used to study, I said, I can tell. So because they have an understanding. It's not just, no, what, it's like you ask a man back 30, 40 years ago, what does it mean to be a Rastafarian? A man that say, Rasta, that's a Rasta, you know, say it, yeah, Selassie, you didn't teach me nothing. I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I want to be the guy that explains to you and say, this is what it means. It's like when I met a set of young Rastafarians called Black Lion that were like-minded. And we met and we started to discuss the Ethiopian Orthodox Church and the Fet and the Gas and the Kebra and the Gas. That no longer it's just an idea, but there's now knowledge. It's like what we see with cannabis is today. With the year, said Rastaman said the healing of the nation. But where are the facts? Where's the data? Right. And now there's actual data now to say, hey, it's good for anxiety. It's good for all these things. So,
pain, stress relief.
Yeah. So the Rastafarian was right all this time, but he didn't have the education and the means to show the data. But he know it did something to him.
Right.
But now, so that's what I'd like to be known for.
If I were to ask you your top 3 life hacks, like what are these 3 things that you'd say, yeah man, them 3 things here, you have to live by these 3 things.
Yeah.
What would those be for you?
You're good. She's good.
Now for your Sagicor life hacks.
3 life hacks.
Yeah.
Respect. Respect. Love. Respect, love, and I don't know if I put this last one, but the closest word I can come to it is militancy. Yeah, like, I'm not like a lazy person. It irks me. Like, I'm gonna sit down there next to a fever grass tree and say, yo, I'm gonna drink no tea from morning, and you're sitting next to a fever grass tree. I don't like people that complain about their situation and trying, instead of working.
Yes.
To say, I'm gonna make it out. Turn your lemons into lemonade. So that's the stuff that, me like them thing there.
Yes.
So if it's anything, a life hack that I would say, if you live by those things, love, respect, and militancy, there's nothing in the world can stop you. Yeah.
I agree. Favorite color?
Purple.
Favorite food?
Steamed fish. Yes.
Your
A
favorite
good steamed
place
fish.
to be?
Africa.
Ooh, where in Africa? Say Ghana.
Ghana.
Where in Ghana? Say Yendi.
I didn't know there was a place called Yendi.
North Ghana. Look
Wow.
it up.
So
Dying to
Ghana
go.
is actually I'm actually a chief in Ghana, by the way.
Are you?
That's for another interview.
So you have a Ghanaian name?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
what's your Ghanaian name?
Yi ni oyeni impese the first.
I like
Which yes.
Majesty.
Yes. I salute you, sir. So
all right.
and also Kenya. Kenya is a big part of we love
I really
Kenya.
want to go to Kenya.
We'll make it happen.
All right.
We'll
all
make
right.
it happen.
From your lips to God's ears. Let's see. What's your favorite song that you have done?
My favorite song I've done, many. I'll say different songs for different times.
Yeah.
Like for me, She's Still Loving Me.
Love.
Yeah. That song is like, okay, when you did something wrong or didn't show up, it's like, man, she's still there.
Yeah.
Just to honor a woman. Women don't get enough honor, I think. Even though in this time.
I'm sorry, we didn't hear you clearly. I think your mic broke up. What you said a while ago, women what?
Women don't get enough honor today.
Oh, was that the mic again? What did he say again?
It's true, man. I mean, these amazing creatures that God have created, that you see them and, I mean, have you ever seen a beautiful, voluptuous woman? I mean, that's God's creation. So
Right,
when we look
that's
at
so.
this thing, it's like, look at that creature, man.
Right, true.
You know, and then she has the ability to bring life into this world.
What a gift.
And see that. So it humble you, know. And then you see how hard working she is. And I mean, a woman will get up at the dawn of the morning to find food for her family.
That's right.
The man on top, but yo, I will turn on the light.
Yeah.
You know, man, you know.
And you know what? If a one finger banana,
Yeah.
she'll go mash half it,
Yeah.
and she'll go cut up next piece of it and make flitters.
Yeah. And I implore to all the young women out there and the young mothers, I say to you, remember your granny, remember her stories. And don't, especially the Jamaican woman, because a lot of us, when I see some things, my heart cry. When I see some woman that jump off out a tree and some woman not respect the man the way me and you grew up, and knowing the love of how the mother did love your father. I want to see those principles come back again.
Yes.
So we pray for Jamaica and we pray for the world.
Yes. 100%.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah, man.
You touched a little bit before about the ancestors.
Yes.
And the ancestors, you know, practicing and living a certain way, but not
Yes.
having data to back it. I know
Yeah.
that with the data, you've now moved a bit into CBD.
Yes.
Can we talk a little bit about the CBD?
Messiah CBD changed my life and gave me a different understanding. I don't smoke weed and I can barely handle a glass of red wine, which is my drink of choice.
Right.
When I do want to live a little festive, other than drink a slice of rum cake, but I don't drink alcohol like that and I don't smoke ganja, I never have.
Yeah.
But now to see the real data and real information about the power of this plant, that it saved my son's life.
Really?
It saved my son's life, the story about it. So the whole CBD thing of, I know it down to a science. My name was mentioned over 4 times in Forbes magazine, had nothing to do with reggae music. So that would probably be a whole other interview, which I've been doing for the past 5
Because of the
years.
healing that your son experienced with
Yes.
CBD?
Yes.
Really?
His mother is a scientist, Dr. Annabelle, and she said, Gramps, I'm going to make something for him. My son was born having uncontrollable seizures, over 200 a day.
Really?
Yes, I went through that in 2016, right before our first Grammy. And I left from his surgery and went to LA straight from that surgery. Didn't want to go, and the mother said, go, Gramps, you've waited this for your entire life. I was like, oh, which woman this man up? I'm sorry, you go use it back for me, tell me go on, and you said, you weren't there. And I said, I don't know. Till I end up, true story, if you go back and watch this video, I rented a tuxedo that year from somewhere in Nashville where I spent a lot of time. and got my suit there, put it on, and went to the Grammys. It was just like, okay, let's just go experience it, right? Not expecting to win, because you're just happy to be there in the moment and represent Jamaica and represent Rasta and represent reggae. So it's just like, yeah, reggae, Jamaica, right? You're not saying, all right, yeah, I wonder if I win. That's the political side of it. Enjoy the natural aspect of it, right? And so she created this medicine, and she said, within a couple of days, we saw his eye, the upper occipital lobe of his brain. Probably a lot of people don't understand what that means, but I've learned these terms.
We're going to Google it.
Yes. So it's the part of the brain that controls for you to just go like this, movement, right?
Fine motor skills.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, see. I'm telling you, we're going to talk enough more after this interview. But the motor skills, that's correct. That's the part of the brain that was missing. So they said he wouldn't walk. They said he wouldn't talk. They said he would walk with his hand clenched to his chest, and he would walk with a limp. They end up taking out 38% of his brain.
What?
Yes. And this medicine changed my son's life. When I brought him back to the doctor at 14 months, the doctor just, is that Macario? And like I said, it's a very emotional part of my life. And to be a dad like that, I had kids before and other proud moments. Of course, when Jamaica was born, that's my first born. And when my daughter was born, it's a special moment. But when he was born, that was a trying time of faith and belief and trust in the Lord to say, all right, we're going to trust in your own hands, or what you think should happen or why it happened. And his journey has made me a better man than what I am, who I used to be. As a father, it made me a better father. That even in this pandemic, Yendi, I'm enjoying spending time and going to have ice cream with my kids. The simple things that matter, that we take for granted, especially as parents who travel. But something like that, they're gonna remember. I also was just in Turks and Caicos, and I took my son on this private island and took him on a jet ski to see a Macario, and to see his face light up. I said,
Wow.
Those moments are priceless. You have to build priceless moments with your children, and you can understand that as a mother. Like when you send your daughter off to school every morning, that's a special moment, right? That, she's gonna remember those times, because I remember times when my mom sent me to school. Yeah. So that's the times we're living in, is to build special moments.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to play a little game with you.
Yes, I like games.
And because you are such a good lyricist, this is what we're going to do, okay? By the way, I don't know how this is going to go, but we're going to go with it.
Yes.
This is the MasterCard Priceless Moment. I'm going to give you a line.
Yeah.
You are going to continue that line.
Okay.
And then I'm going to continue the line, and we're going to see what we can come up with. It's our story, okay? We're going to create a story. Okay. We're not going to do a melody. You know why? Because we can't sing.
Okay.
But actually, you start. You do the first line.
Is it a word or a line?
A line.
Okay. Love matters.
Because without it, we are nothing.
Ooh, you're good.
You better come back. Come on.
Experience teacheth wisdom.
Wisdom means knowledge, and with knowledge we
learn.
And when we learn, we
share.
And when we share, we
love.
And when we love, we live.
Yes. Ooh, yes. Oh, God.
Want to go again?
That's a great song.
You start next one. It is actually a really good song. If I go watch this back and put a melody.
Yes.
You go, first line.
Nature humbles you.
Because it brings you as close to God as anything else.
That's far. Where you come from? My God. And with connecting to the universe,
we are reminded how we are as important as the birds and the bees and the stars and the trees.
That makes us better human beings.
Because we're all intertwined, we're all one.
Under the billions and billions of stars
And by day, the sun.
and the moon.
Sila.
I love it!
That was wicked.
Wicked.
I like that. That's a great thing to
Yes.
write songs.
I love playing that game. A little birdie told me that you may have had an incident or two with a bottle of rum, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, rum, of course, number one, me and my brothers have a rum line
Yeah.
that we just launched called Island Vibes Rum.
Yeah.
So, you know, we realized that the power of rum and sugar cane and how it was built on our ancestors' back. So we want to have a play in the game.
You can play in the game, but while you're playing the game, I'm actually going to offer you this
No
lovely bottle of
way.
8-year Appleton Reserve.
Oh my God. I was next to these guys at the Jamaican consulate.
Yeah,
This is incredible. This is special.
it is special.
This is not just a regular bottle of.
It not regular.
No.
Oh, no, not regular around here.
No,
Come
me
to your
see,
Gramps.
me say you are different kettle of fish, man.
Me say, right true. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
It's been
much.
such an honor to
Yes.
sit with you. It's been
Yes.
beautiful. Thank
Yes,
you.
yes, man. We
I
shall do
appreciate
this
you.
again. Yes,
I appreciate
me too,
you,
man.
truly.
Me too. Yes,
Well
we're gonna
done.
do this.
Odyssey with Yendi Untold Journeys was brought to you in partnership with Sagicor and MasterCard.
Grab yourself some Appleton and tap into a new world of flavor. Have a snack for this episode? Well, grab your Sun Mix and taste the good life.